Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So yesterday, Brother Saki mentioned about why do we fast, right? We recall the purpose as to why we fast, right? And the answer was to gain taqwa and to gain closeness to Allah Azza wa Jal. And as we discussed yesterday, how do we do that? How do we bring in taqwa, right? By reading the Quran, by having a sense of gratitude, by being compassionate towards the needy, the poor, your community, your brothers and sisters, and by having sincerity and forgiveness in your heart. And so that was discussed yesterday. So today, I wanted to give a small tip on how we can make the most out of Ramadan by a step-by-step approach from time management in Ramadan. And so this is by far the biggest pain point for majority of the people fasting, including myself. How do we divide the time between ibadah and everything else that we do in Ramadan, our daily lives? Waking up, eating, going to work, exercising, if you're going to school, homework, exams, tests, and the like. How do we divide our time? And so the first thing that we have to do is to make a plan and to divide our goals. And so you yourself, you have to decide what goals do you want in Ramadan. Do you want to achieve memorizing one surah? Do you want to achieve reading out the Quran? Whatever your goal is, you have to plan it ahead of time. But if you didn't plan ahead, and Ramadan is already here, wherein alhamdulillah we finished 1 week of Ramadan, it's never too late to start planning now. And so the most important thing is to set realistic goals. Don't say you're going to plan to finish the Quran 2 times or 3 times in these 3 weeks. You know, it's just very, very difficult to do. And so frankly speaking, it might be really hard to start off with, but as you go through it, as you go through the daily motions and the routines, you kind of figure out what you're capable of and what your potential is to consistently do without burning out yourself. For example, some of the goals that you can start off with is just read the Quran daily. Whatever it is, to read a small portion of it daily so that you're consistent with it and you don't burn yourself out. To pray some extra sunnah salah, to read tasbih, to make dua, to read the tafsir of the Quran. And by making a plan, you realize what your life was lacking before you had this goal. So you see what you're missing and you try to incorporate that inside of your time. And so here's how I rewrote some of my goals during Ramadan, to finish reading out the Quran once during Ramadan. And so how can you break this up even further? By reading 1 juz a day, it might sound like a lot, you know, to do 20 pages every day, it sounds very, very difficult. But if you just do 4 pages after each salah, it only takes an extra 5 minutes. Just 4 pages after every salah, and you would be able to finish reading the Quran. To pray your 5 obligatory, your 5 fard salah on time. If your salahs are a little bit lacking in the time aspect, you're going to work, you have certain times, try to make it your priority to pray your salah on time. Make lots of dua during the time of the adhan and the time of paying maghrib. This is a very, very good time to make dua. And every night, try your best to wake up for qiyam and make dua, and read the tafsir of at least 1 ayah a day. And so when you see your goals like this, you see, okay, this is very achievable on a day-to-day basis. You know, you don't think in this 1 month time that I have to accomplish this, and so you prolong it and you prolong it, and in the last 5 days of Ramadan come, and you try to cram all of this in the last 5 nights. And so now you decide on the amount of time that you can separate from your day for ibadah. So you first have to find out how much daily responsibilities do you have, right? Some of these responsibilities might be like, how much time do you really need to sleep? How much do you need to eat? How much time do you have to go to work? And so if you look at a typical scenario, the work day is typically 6 to 8 hours. Your sleep time is 6 to 7 hours. Family time 2 hours, and then your self-care, showering, dressing, whatever it is that you do, 1 to 2 hours. And so if you minus all of this time, you're left with 4 hours of the day for ibadah, and that is a good enough time for ibadah without burning out yourself. And the last thing that you want to decide is on how you will allocate to each one of your ibadah goals. For example, if you do want to finish reading out the Quran, right, you just divide up the times, as I said before, and you figure out how you're supposed to do it. And so by using this simple step-by-step approach, you would be able to allocate your time for each and every single one of your spiritual goals on your list. And so I put together a complete, guide for managing time in Ramadan, especially if you're working, and you'll be able to learn, how to balance your time, the limiting barrier in your way of finding your success in Ramadan and with your work thing. And the one thing that really matters most is to enjoy your Ramadan and to feel that you're actually accomplishing something and you're gaining in your iman and in your taqwa without feeling as if you're straining yourself in the way of Allah Azza wa Jal. So may Allah Azza wa Jal accept from us and make it easy for us to have a good time management in Ramadan and outside of Ramadan, and to grant us success in every step of the way, and accept all of our ibadat, all of our salah, all of our du'as, and to make us all go to Jannah al-Firdaus together. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.